from Takuto featuring SF Lapa and KVR and Brusela Etikona Zimbinda was sting on number 1 on our Skies Metro FM chat show Lapa game Leno Skies Metro FM. Keep on supporting local music, keep on supporting our homegrown talent. Giganjalo get pose mapoza apagat inside with someone the stage again. Now you're going to every Monday game we're checking you way beyond the sky. So I'm planning again like I promised you earlier on which going to slap some visitors to Lapa Mzaz and I'm going to tell a program here to Center for Innovation and Technology Office which going to site again. Our project title is promoting civic awareness and action to counter disinformation, and the topic is among it's called the importance of media literacy and fighting disinformation. So I'm planning again in the studio we have forward Lapa Ulans and for citizen journalist and as well as Lifakane Nare Lapa fact checker Msagazi na konzela ngaphezulu Skies Metro FM. We're taking you way beyond the sky. It is what it is on a Monday and now your guys good media literacy is undoubtedly a crucial tool in the fight against disinformation in the public that is both critically and digitally literate in is such more likely to be able to access the information they counter online, identify sources they can trust and make well-informed decisions. So being media literate opens up opportunities to engage more fully and more creative with the media world, and media literacy helps to raise awareness of human rights on the internet, fight hate speech, false information, false news and online bullying, as well as utilize media technology to foster equity and self-expression. So media houses and civic organizations have a role to play in ensuring that citizens receive correct information addressing their challenges. During the electoral period, citizens have the responsibility to electoral information that will assist others to make informed decisions. As such, citizens should be provided with the correct resources and tools that will assist them in how they can affect check. So kanjalo ke mdlalo Skies Metro FM ke sibamba kanje ke lokhoyela phambili ngendaba zethu ukuthi khona sithole ke information eyiyo sibe kwazi ukuthi khona ke siphila kakuhle njalo ke sibe kwazi ukuthi khona ke siyenza kanjani ke ama decisions ethu khona lapha siphila njengoba sakwazi ukuthi khona 2023 is just around the corner ke ama elections aseduzana kumele sibe kwazi ukuthi khona ke yonke into siyenza kakuhle ke ngoba sikuthola ke asikuthola kakuhle bonke sikushare sikuthola kakuhle ke isi-share information eyiyo, information eqondileyo ukuthi khona siphile kakuhle asenze ke ama decisions are right ke mdlalo Skies Metro FM. So get in touch with us, so you can send us a message on 0787-139-460 0787-139-460 or 0774-460-100. You can also tell us about mdlalo Skies Metro FM. Come on along, you can send us a WhatsApp message, a text message. We'll also do konapa ke sibambe kanje ke imetro drive to the hour of 6 ke khona manje ke yasikhulume ke nama guest stage emsakazini nakho nizela ngaphezulu Skies Metro FM. So ke anza kuqala ke ngojadewethu lapho ke uL Nare ke ukuthi khona asazisi ukuthi khona yena ke usebenzela engabene njalo futhi ke ungubani ke usiletheleni lapha emsakazini nakho nizela ngaphezulu Skies Metro FM. Kusabanje stage ke sabamkela dadewethu kunjani?
Thank you Njabolo, ngiyaphila mina njani wena?
Amnaphilile ke bindele phela bi.
Hayi impela viki biyo nje.
Yebo phela.
Yebo.
Okay, ngela check nje izi stories ngikho.
Siyazama. Yeah.
Alright, ke sejabula ukuthi khona libela athi ke namhlanje ke lisivakatshele ke emsakazweni wabantu ke akusabantu isiteach ke. Alright, ke abalaleli lapha emakhaya ke maybe selinga bakhulumisa.
Salibonani balaleli, ngethemba lichone kuhle endaweni zonke zelizwe ikakhulu kithi eGwanda. I hope you're listening in.
Kanjalo ke asabonga dadewethu ke khona ngapha eGwanda ngokwazi ukuthi sibamba ku 94.1 ke khona ngapha eGwanda emawabeni embalabala ke ku 94.1 khona Ball 94.1 ke kanjalo ke mdlalo Skies Metro FM, and then phinde futhi sibe ke no forward lapho ke uLance forward kunjani?
Yaphila phuthu kanjani?
Amnaphilile ke bandlela abangikhaya.
Hayi abanye baqinile.
Siyajaba kakhulu ke. Thanks so much for ukubuya ke kusabantu isiteach ke. Abalaleli ngabakho sibuka ngabayazisa ke njengoba wena uyintatheli izindaba ukuthi khona sizwe ukuthi khona i-weekend yakho bezikhipha yini.
Hayi ama weekend ethu abe ngakhiphi ngoba sebezingakhiphi ngoba phela sebezikhangela lapha istory. Sifike check lapha sibone ukuthi abanye ezinye intatheli azibhala manga lapha.
Ezinye intatheli azibhala manga. Alright ke kanjalo ke manje ungambona ukuthi khona untatheli le iqamba manga but ngapha ngumngani wakho litathela lonke uyamtshela yini?
Kumela khuzu.
Kumela khuzu. Yeah yakhuzu umuntu odilela sabashayela indolwane akumnandi kunjalo ke mlelo skies Metro FM semsakazo nakho ndizela ngaphezulu ke ungakhohlwa ke indikimbe samba ngayithi khona ke the importance of media literacy in fighting disinformation ke 1614 it is our time ke mlelo skies Metro FM we're taking you way beyond the sky ke uzaqalisa ke go dadewethu ukuthi khona ke what is the importance of media literacy ke ukuthi khona ke sibaqhazulele ke abalaleli beskies Metro FM lambi ke imfundo khona lapho ukuthi khona ke ikuyini vele media literacy.
Thank you, Njabolo. I think before we even look at the importance of media literacy, maybe uqhakathekile ukuthi sikhulume ukuthi yini vele yona media literacy. So when we're talking about media literacy, we're talking about the ability of people, consumers of information, abantu nje ababala amaphephandaba. We're talking about people who watch news on TV, people who listen to the radio, our audiences out there, how they interact with the media products. Media literacy refers to the ability to critically engage with that information. Ukuthi when you are receiving information, you're just not a passive consumer of the information. Ukuthi Njabolo ngokuthelo kwekhuluma eSky's Metro yilo iqiniso. But media literacy is that ability to ask the questions, the critical questions around information ekhulunywa nguNjabolo. Ukuthi so iSky's Metro ekhulume lokhu ingabe kuthethe ngapi, kukhulunywa ngubani, kungani beyikhuluma information enjalo. So these are all the things that make up media literacy. Kungani iqhakathekile ngoba in the past decade or so, we have seen the rise of what people would commonly call fake news, but which is more technically misinformation and disinformation. We have also seen people who have started to deliberately transmit false information, whether it's to cause harm to others, whether you would clicks and likes on social media. For whatever reason, you have seen quite an increase in people who produce misinformation and disinformation. So kuqhakathekile ukuthi umuntu lo muntu abe media literate, because nxa usuthe wathola information right now, you find which information evele Skies Metro at least is mediated, because kulo news editor, kulo producer, kulo executive producer, but we are getting a lot of user generated content, and this is content that is coming from umuntu nje who's not trained, from somebody who is not accountable to anyone, or somebody who will be passing by on the street, there's an accident, and then they take out their phone and they take a picture and they send out to people, and this is the information that will be coming to you. So if you're not media literate, you are going to end up consuming a lot of information and passing it on ungakwazi ukuthi iliqiniso kumbe asoqiniso. Ngakho kuqhakathekile ukuthi be media literate, because when you're media literate, every time you receive information, whether it's from mainstream media, from citizen journalists, or from social media, you begin to ask the important questions, and the important questions are: who is the author, vele udaba lolu luvela kubani, ngubani oluthumezelayo, kungani oluthumezela, what is their purpose, what's their interest in this, because sometimes interest yomuntu determines ukuthi vele kungani istory sankhona besithumezelele abantu. And then sometimes you also engage in a story, like for instance there was this story around divorce cases in Bulawayo, 300 divorce cases in the past 6 months in Bulawayo, and there was a lot of, I don't know whether it's outrage or what way to look at, this is a lot. But I was saying to some people, it's a lot compared to what? Because the story doesn't tell us how many divorce cases were there last year. It doesn't tell us how many divorce cases were there in previous years. So maybe it's actually a decrease. How do we know? Because the reporter just told us 300 cases filed for divorce in the past 6 months. So when you're engaging with this kind of news, it's important to ask those questions. So is 300 a lot or isn't it? But how do we know? So then we'll have to ask some questions, do a bit more research before we can pass on the information with outrage or whatever it is, feeling that journalists like Ulans by Fnasi Siwazwe. I think that's what I can say for now.
Ubumomente siwethathu wethu ke kuyazwakala ke kakhulu kapho ke noma uthi khona ukhona ke mlelo Skies Metro FM ungakuzisike ungakhohlwa ke usixhumana ke mawuthi khona umbuzo ofuna ukubuza 078787139460 khona postela khona ke uze sikwanise ukuthi khona sixazulule ke imibuzo yakho ke lapho yabe ke uphiqeke khona ke njengoba uthi kodwa ukhuluma ke uyasazisa njalo ukuthi khona ke kumele ukuthi singabantu labana ke abangasobovile ukuthi khona yathatha yonke into ke ungabi ke livila lokuthi khona no yonke into ke oyitholeleyo uyavele uyithathe ke uyidlulise alawo researcher find out ukuthi khona ke ivele ngaphi indaba ivele ngaphi ke lesi story ke siqale ngaphi lesi story sisiya ngaphi vele sibhale ngubani asivela ke uyiphi ke media organization kanjalo ke uze ukuthi khona ke sasa kungabuhluphi la understand singaphilele evalweni njengoba wasinikeza vele umzekeliso ke oma divorces ke history athi sikhona ke last week sike satrenda kakhulu abantu bethanda ukuva lapha ngaphandle bengakwazi ukuthi khona ke kumi kanjani abanye sinje so lami nginje ngisaba lokushada ngathi because of that story. All right, kita to must continue ukuthi how can young people utilize media literacy to detect fake news spread on social media?
Thanks, JP. I think abantu abasakhulayo, there's been complaints, I think, around the world and also in Zimbabwe, which young people don't seem to be engaged in public debate, which young people don't seem to be concerned about things that are going around them. The young people don't seem to be concerned with the politics of the day. And I think it's also because maybe they're not getting the information that they need, or they don't know how to interact with the information that they need. Or maybe it's also because people are not packaging information that goes directly to young people for them to interact with. But if you're looking at young people, and especially in countries like Zimbabwe, where they are the majority, they can break or make an election. They can change the way things are done because they have the numbers. So I think what young people need to be able to do to detect fake news is to be able to, I mean, the basic is for them to be able to read around. Then it is to have a passion, to have an interest in knowing what's happening on a day-to-day. It's for them to be interested in things that are going on around them. And then once they've got that interest, then they can be able now to develop the skills that they need to detect false information. I know lots of young people have got smartphones. I think every other young person, especially in urban areas today, has got a smartphone. But you'll find that they use the smartphones for social media, but not for informative purposes. You know, when we're talking about the media, we're talking about how the media can entertain, can educate, and can persuade or inform. But most young people use media as an entertainment source rather than as an educative or persuasive source. So if you're looking at your smartphones as young people, for instance, if you're going to get a picture, a photo, and somebody's telling you, oh, Ziawa, this is what is happening in this area, there are certain ways of checking even on your smartphone to see what a picture lay, as they say, is this even in Bulawayo or not. For instance, if you go on Google has got reverse image search, you take a picture, you post it there, it will tell you the history of that picture. So if the picture was first used, for example, in a South African newspaper, it will tell you, this picture first appeared in 2014 in the Sowetan. If it appeared in Kenya, it will tell you that. So this is a very basic way of checking, especially when you're looking at images. But when we're looking also at people who might not have the resources, maybe someone out there might say, but I need data yangikhona yokuthi ngibe ngikhangela izinto ezinjalo. There are ways of looking at a picture and using knowledge yakho yendawo to see what a picture lay ngabe liqiniso or not. For instance, you get a picture kuthiwe lapha with something happening ngoBulawayo, and for instance, I'll say if you look at the picture and kulabantu around akula mntu even one ugqoke a face mask, then you definitely should know what it can't be a current picture, because right now if anyone takes a picture out there will be people wearing masks. Or for instance, you're looking at the picture and there is a good background kule poster ye voter inspection roll, you know this must be current because the voter inspection roll yenziwa kathesi. And if somebody tells you this picture is from 2016, no, it can't be, because there was no voter inspection going on then. You can look at the things that people are wearing. For instance, is the person in the picture wearing jersey Chelsea season 2020, 2021 or 2019. So there are things that young people are interested in that they can use to check for information that they are receiving, that information that they already know, things that they already have in their resources. They can use those to try and detect fake information from the messages that they receive.
All right, seems like there's a message that came through. Issues are scary, JP. That's why as youth we focus on entertainment issues like volunteering and his girlfriend. If you know, you know. You can blame young people, but well, when there are serious political issues,
Yes, I'm not going to say I know because I'm not young. But what I can say is, I think when we're talking about engaging in public debate and issues that affect you, we are not talking about mainstream politics. We are not talking partisan politics. We are not talking party politics. We are talking about things that affect you and information that helps you make an informed decision. Not necessarily about the politics, not about voting. For instance, you can be talking about if you are receiving a message as a young person on your phone, ukuthi impilo is hiring people on Monday next week, and before you take your money, CV, you take your money, you got your empilo. There are ways you can use to check on your phone but the message lay is it genuine or not. Things like you'll check ukuthi kule letterhead, you'll check ukuthi kule phone number a landline, you'll call that number. Even if you can't, you'll see are they asking for money. There are certain things that you can do, and I think it's not just about the party politics. As I said, it's about being engaged in things that are happening around you. Divorce cases, that's family disintegration. Are you interested in that? What's your contribution to that debate? Do you think there's a problem with abantu abadala ikukwenza about divorce? How can you do better as young people? So I think when we're talking politics, we're not talking mainstream politics, partisan politics all the time. Sometimes it's the day-to-day, that's still politics of the butter and bread issues.
Yeah, it is what it is. Game Day Skies Metro FM 16:24 here, 24 minutes after 4 episodes and selling a page or Skies Metro FM. Get lost going like a pumping a program. This is literally site Center for Innovation and Technology. The importance of media literacy in fighting disinformation. Konapas Kunumage Aliflo, Alifakan and Nare, the fact checker himself and I want to sell a page or Skies Metro FM. Then you're putting up and hanging go forward Rapa Ulans and Kunumage, lot of way to get Lance. How you have fact checking trainings helped you in differentiating fake news from opinions?
Okay, perhaps let me start by defining what fake news is and what opinions are. Fake news, these are outright lies, fabricated stories with a view to misinform people, to mislead people, or simple to demonize your counterpart or your rival, right? Whereas opinions, these are personal views, these are personal standpoints, judgments. They can be judgments, you see. So now, what have these trainings given me to be able to distinguish between the two? They've given me special skills to be able to critically engage with information, right? Through information literacy. They've given me skills to be able to differentiate between what's fake and what's factual. Right? That's how they've helped me in my field of fact checking.
All right. Kunjalo game la Skies Metro FM ke na uyaza lapha ke uthathe forward lapha ke uyasiqhazulela ukuthi khona ke kuyini ke fake news njalo ukuthi khona ke kwehlukene kanjani ke nama opinions. So as a citizen journalist, what are you doing to demystify the view that citizen journalists are typically responsible for sharing fake news?
Okay. As I've alluded before, I'm a fact checker. I do fact checking, both for online and offline news, right? So I go around looking for stories, and if I see a story and then the story doesn't add up, I start verifying it, and then I do fact checking, right? And then I make sure that everything that I post online, I'm posting something that has been verified, something that's true, something that's factual. And then I go around also preaching the gospel of information literacy, how people can be media literate, how they can engage with the news and not be passive consumers of news, as my sister has already said.
All right. Let's guys remember logo ke bekugcizelela kanjalo ukuthi khona ke singabi ngama passive consumers of news, ukuthi khona iyathatha yonke into ke uyibonele ku social media, yonke into uyibone ku Twitter, ukuthi khona no ke iqiniso ke unanzelele ngoba ngaphandle lapha ke akhona amanye ama account engasiwo ke ama account ke aweqiniso, amanye ama account abe engamanga vele bona ke bejonge ukuthi khona ke belahlise abantu belibhodise khona lapha ke ngezinto ezingaqondanga ke mfethu ke futhi ukuthi wethu ukuthi khona ke in your view ke wethu, how has disinformation affected the integrity of Zim's elections?
I think when we're talking about integrity of the elections, we can start off with participation. We can start off with, as young people, when we say participate in elections, it means that something as simple as registering to vote. It's something as simple as going to check whether you're there on the voters' roll before you even get to the idea of getting involved in the actual politics of the day. And I think when we're looking at disinformation and misinformation and how it affects the integrity of the elections, so if you're going to hear over and over, which election is going to be violent, election is not going to be free and fair, it also affects the decisions that you make, because then you're thinking, why should I even take part in this election? What is it going to change? Because we make decisions based on the information that we get. I'll give you an example of, I don't know how many people saw the story that it almost went viral about 3 trucks which were intercepted in Western Nicholson. They were full of weapons, something like that. And I'm sure the feelings that I was looking at the comments of the people on Facebook on that story, people were thinking, oh, it's government now wanting, it's the ruling party wanting to go after, and they need an excuse to go after your opposition party. And there are those who were saying, oh, look at the opposition party and these other parties like Mtwagazi, they are becoming radical. Then the people were also feeling, oh, government wants to, ZANU-PF wants to do to Matebelele and what it did before. So it's got all these emotions, high emotions in people. But when you looked at the story, it wasn't even a real story. It was disinformation straight out. Because when you look at the story, you'll realize the whole story, there's no one who's been cited. There's no source. The story will talk about authorities, official sources, security agents, and not a single person named. So once you get a story like that, especially just some high emotions, you need to be careful about that kind of story. You need to go further than just the headline. So you need to ask yourself, this is a major story, 3 trucks intercepted. What other media house is carrying this kind of story? Is Sky's Metro, did I hear this on the news? Did I hear this on ZTV? Did I hear this in the Herald? Did I see it in the Chronicle? Did I see it in the SABC? Did I see it on CNN? Because if it's such a big story, there must be some credible news outlet that's carrying the story. So if you are going to take everything that you consume as fact, the next thing is you are not even going to, for instance, in this case, you read the story, you don't even want to be involved in the elections because you are convinced it's going to be violent. You're convinced there's already some people out there, some powerful people who are already making plans to do something to people who are going to get involved in politics. So I think this is how disinformation and misinformation impacts on the integrity of our elections. It's just as an example.
Ake kunjalo ke mlelo sikazi manje phambili bekwazi ukuthi khona ke istory kumisimi kanjani. So lapha ke dadewethu ke ngendlela ke oyitsho ngakhona ke kumele sibekwazi ukuthi khona istory say news sima kanjani ngoba ke ezinye istories like you said ukuthi khona zabe singela ama sources, it's only about ke ukuthi khona ke officials what ke akula ke abantu aba interview ke babe khona ku story sabe singela ama quotes sipompa kanjalo nje sipompa plain.
Yes. And I think at the list of it, there are fact-checking organizations in the country, like Cause in Fact. So if you come across a story and you're worried about it and you don't have the resources to check, you can reach out to them and they'll fact-check for you.
All right. Okay, kunjalo ke mlelo guys, but FM 1631 29 minutes to 5 it is what it is ke okay on a Monday khona lapha ke msakazi nakodisela ngaphezulu guys, but FM 0774460100 ke hit us up ke send us a WhatsApp message, text message khona lapha ke makuthi khona khona ke umbuzo ufuna ukubuza ke udadewethu lapha ke forward be akaphumi emsakazweni wakondisela ngaphezulu guys, but FM phenduke kuwe ke nansi ukuthi khona ke what do you think is the role of citizen journalists during a summer elections?
Okay, I think it's an open secret that our media terrain, our Zimbabwean media terrain, has always been polarized along political lines. Right, we have the private media and the state-owned media, and one of them is either supporting the other party, the other political party, right? And then this has led to flawed electoral processes because they can't be objective. They are always aligning themselves with a certain political party, right? But then that's where we come in as citizen journalists. We have come in to bridge that gap right? That gap of objectivity, because we are not affected by political economy. We don't answer to anyone. There's no one who's controlling how we gather our information or how we impart our information. We don't have editorial policies. So with that being said, we are free, right? So we are going to be objective. We are going to report it as it is, as how we see it, right?
Yeah. Right, yes, I'm forward to get what you can get as one Amazon journalist in what kind of maybe cover the gap that is left by the mainstream media and private media. Let's guys, it is what it is. Game, let's guys, this program was brought to you by Center for Innovation and Technology. I'm a bit site so that in the game by somebody it's going to get the importance of media literacy in fighting disinformation. Yeah, Master Secret, I guess, program here to Konaland, and Tela to Koname, listening as again. Amaz okugcina ke to abalaleli bethu beSky's Metro FM zakalisa ke ngawe ke Lance ukuthi khona ke any parting words onganikeza ke abalaleli beSky's.
Okay, I think it's time that people become media literate. They don't just consume news as they are getting it, right? I think people should engage with the news critically so that they can differentiate between what is factual and what is not factual. For instance, if I tell you here that the City Council of Bulawayo recently, or in the last 2 months, has constructed 28 clinics, right? As I'm telling you, you should be asking yourself, where are those clinics, right? And so forth. So I think people should be critical in their thinking as they are consuming news.
Yeah. All right, yes, I'm going to get forward to depending on where that way to
Thanks, JP. I think the parting words will be, maybe as young people, you need to realize that you've got the power, you've got a voice, you've got your opinions matter. It's not just about people who are in power who can tell you things and then when you just consume them and do what they want. No, you've got the power, you're still an active participant in your own life. You need to be able to engage, as Olan said, critically with information that you're getting. You need also to be interested. I think before you can even actively engage, you need to have the interest in the first place to know what's happening around you. Once you've got that interest, it will be easy to get like-minded people who can also share information with you. And I think also I would say, Ulan's talked about the polarization. I think my advice also, my parting words to young people will be, you need to do better than us. We are the generation that was polarized and all. They need to do better than us. They need to be a bit more open-minded. They need to be more tolerant of different views. They need to be understanding of each other, because it's not the differences that make us weaker. The differences actually make us stronger, because when we've got different opinions, we come up with something that can really be strong and can make a difference in our lives and in our nation.
All right, okay. Good job, okay. Thank you so much, okay. To put it away to get missionary, get Lifatan. And then get the point of get Lance Savanga, could get where I get Msagazo Skies Metro FM, get even give up a minute.
I was sneaky. What is sneaky my shout outs like?
Yeah, where's my shout out?
Okay, I just want to give people their flowers because the world is still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
My brothers in Devile, you're doing good, keep at it. My brother TVT there, thank you for the work that you're doing. Please keep at it. I know my friends are listening. Kulo Divine, Kulo Mlondo, there's also Snotisiwe. I know you're listening. Thank you so much for the support and keep at it.
I just hope that I wasn't just speaking into a void in a vacuum. I hope there's somebody out there listening, and I hope they found this really useful.
Yeah, good job, like that. 16:37 it is your time. Gabriel Skies Metro FM. Skies Metro FM. Kusabantu East again. It's the main drive. Come on, JP, the one and only. Going line the whole up on Gabriel Skies Metro FM. Si palaganje get in program here to see the television site. Kona manje. Till we meet again. Monday same time, same place. Kusabantu East.
It's your Metro station. 100.3 FM. Beyond the sky.
We're in this together. shoes back again. Oh, they don't know. Count. Oh, they don't know. Count. I bet they know as soon as we walk in.
Why wait to say? At least I did it my way.
Got that purple Lamborghini lurking. Got that purple Lamborghini lurking. Blazing 100.3 FM. This is Sky's Metro FM in the city of King. Hitting the licks in the valley.
Hey baby, it'll all be fine. Take a deep breath and blow your mind. I ain't your bandit. Boy, I ain't your bandit. Oh, I see it, I want it. I stunt yellow on it. I dream it, I want it. Okay, ladies, now let's get information.
I don't wanna know who's taking me home. I'm loving you so.
Sky's Metro FM, your radio in Bulawayo. Keep it 100.3 FM beyond the sky.
And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over into cold water for you.
It's the city's #1 hit radio station. Keep it 100.3 FM. Sky's Metro FM.
My name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. My name is my number is
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love you, oh, he just...
Salibonani lihlangana lo mama uManyoni kwaba nzima ukuvuma lapho ngithola ukuthi ngine HIV. There was no hope yomuntu ole HIV ngesikhathi sola leso. Saphila impilo enzima kakhulu ngoba umuntu olegciwane vele wayengasafunakali phakathi komphakathi. Ngoba ungabamba inkomuthe yakhe kumbe uvakatshe lemzini wakhe wayicabanga ukuthi sizomthelela igciwane. 2004 kwafika uhlelo lama ARVs. From there sengiziphilela impilo yami enhle, ngiyahamba emsebenzini, ngiyasisebenzela engadini, ngidla kuhle, ngayingakholwa ukuthi ngingabona abazukulu bami.
Ngamaphilisi ame-HIV ngiyenelisa. Uyenelisa ukuphila impilo oyifunayo elentokozo, ubukeka kuhle uphilile. Nathi amaphilisi akho namhla ngamalanga wonke. Chaya ucingo ku-08080117 mahala. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Child Care.
Welcome to the ultimate drive time experience.
So, the Zimbabwe Progressive Youth Trust would like to invite businesses and individuals to the 3rd edition of the Southern Region Business Expo that will be held on the 26th to 27th of August at Hillside Dams. This expo is a platform that has been developed to promote local businesses with a cost-sensitive marketing and networking platform with the aim to influence brand visibility, awareness, and promotion of local businesses. Our activities at marketing and networking, business and public, music, entertainment, photo shoots, cooperate marketing presentations, incorporation of family fun games as well. Event closed by a cocktail party for participants, so public displays for different groups. So outdoor business conference, business opportunities sharing, investment opportunities sharing, executive leadership networking, to book a store or to purchase a ticket. Contact us on this number at +263 779 +263 779 392 144 +263 779 392 144, or you can email us at zpyfinfo@gmail.com.